Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the deep dive, it's Q&A time, it's me, it's Josh Williams. Of course, it has to be. It wouldn't be the deep dive without Josh Williams, and we are here to answer your questions. This show is heavily Semenyo focused, as you might have guessed by the title. So we're going to start off with Luke.jsw, who just simply asks, Semenyo, yes or no?
You can't ask a question as simple as that on a deep dive, mate. I need to offer a bit more than that. It depends even what he means. So when you was a player, or do you want him for this Liverpool squad, or what?
Do you want him for Liverpool? Yes or no?
I'll say yes. I'll say yes on this one.
Okay. And I think it was a nice question to open us up with, Luke, because we're going to get into the Semenyo stuff a lot deeper, obviously. Although there is a global outage at the time of recording, so we can't get onto like some of the sites that we'd normally use, like FBref and stuff. So we'll just try and muddle through regardless. We got Mark Love 01. With us being linked with Semenyo, what would he bring to this team to improve us?
So Semenyo is... I really like Semeno. I think he's a top player. He reminds me a lot of Sadio Mane, actually, in the sense that he has a really good burst off the mark, so he reaches like his top speed pretty quickly, good acceleration and that. He can go both ways. He can go on the inside, he can go on the outside, and he's one of the most two-footed players in the league. Mane was all of those things. So what he does give you is genuine pace and dribbling ability, crucially off both flanks. I think some players you say they can play on both sides and he can't. Semenyo genuinely can. Semenyo genuinely can play here and he can play over here as well. So that's a nice option to have. And
he's done bits here as well, hasn't he, to be fair?
Yeah. So I think he's the kind of forward that I would have expected Liverpool to go for in the summer. But Liverpool completely changed tack and went and signed Vert and 2 number 9s. But I think Semenyo was far more Liverpool based on what we've seen over the past few years. And I think you could argue as well, based on what we've seen this season, that we've lost a bit of pace in the forward wide areas. I think Salah's obviously getting on. Gakpo doesn't really beat his men with pace. Rio's a ball to feet player. Chiesa can't get on the pitch. So reinstating pace in the wide areas, I think, is another little healthy perk.
And can I just jump in there as well and say physicality? Yeah. You know, he's bulked up over his 3 years at Bournemouth. Back when he was at Bristol, he wasn't that big a player, was he? But since he's moved to the Vitality, he has kind of bulked up and he's really hard to get off the ball as well, to go with that pace that you're talking about.
Yeah, he's got that kind of upper body thing. He's built a little bit, a bit like Shaqiri, I think, really, where he's got, you know, really broad shoulders. But as I said, he's quick off the mark as well. So as a physical edge, which is good in the modern Premier League, considered now man for man, it's nice to have a physical edge over your opponents, and Semenyo has that over the large majority of players that he faces.
So what's he bring? What does he? Well, no. You've asked us what he brings. Does he improve us?
I would say he does. Yeah, I think right now for Liverpool, I think he would start.
Where?
That's a good question. Are we doing that one now? Is that the
question? Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Is that one of the questions?
It was for me.
Okay.
It's a conversation as well. These are great talking points, but if you're not going to answer, where?
Well, we'll go from January, because from January is when you can't play him now. I think you could argue for both sides. You really could argue both sides. I think when he first comes in, he'll play on the right, personally, because we're not going to have Mo Salah. So Semenyo offers that threat over there, and people, long-term listeners of this show, including Chris, will have expected me to be against Semenyo.
I'm 100% expecting you to be against him.
Well, not necessarily, because he is genuine. The whole two-footed thing is not just an opinion. He's genuinely really, really two-footed. And a lot of his minutes over the years where he's looked good for Bournemouth have came on that right side. So would I rather a left footer? Yes. Looking at the market, is there an obvious left footer who's better than Semenyo? I'd say there's one, and that's Michael Olise. So
he's probably about 100 bill more.
Yeah. if you can get Elise and play with Elise there and Semenyo there, great. If you can't get Elise and Semenyo has to play there, I think you could do a lot worse, put it that way, when it comes to replacing Mo Salah. I think you could do a lot worse.
Semenyo there to begin with?
Initially, yeah. When
long term, you're looking at Semeno there with Elise there. Not much to ask for, just 220 million pound worth of player to come in.
Well, long term, I would prefer him there. But Semenyo. One of the problems Semeno. But one of the problems you've got is you've currently got Gakpo. You've also got Rio, who you apparently didn't want to get in the way of, and you've got Ekitike as well, because Isak will start playing as the 9 moving forward eventually, I think. Mm-hmm. You've also got Wirtz. So everyone is currently favouring over here, which is definitely one thing I don't like about this link. I would much rather Liverpool get linked with a player who categorically wants to be there, like Elise. But Semenyo can do both, and I am putting a lot of weight on that element of his game, that he can play both sides and is not impacted whatsoever. And as I said, his two-footed abilities right up there with the best I've seen. What about his sort of pressing side of his game? Yeah, well, he's accustomed to playing as part of a pressing system, playing for Bournemouth. Areola, he's thrived under Areola. That's really good from a Liverpool perspective. I don't think he's quite as much of a monster as Mane was, if we're doing that comparison again. But I do think he is a grafter, and I do think he's not a player that you've got to carry. You can't allow him to cheat high up like Salah without giving him the same defensive freedom. So I think he could stay high and offer that threat on the break without being the kind of player that you got to carry. So there's lots of perks there as well. I'm also I'm not sure, but is he homegrown? I don't. How long's he played in England for? I don't know, mate. Did he come through the ranks?
He came through Bristol, didn't he? And he's been at Bournemouth, so there's a good chance. But without going on FB ref, we're looking at probably transfer market, aren't we?
Is the transfer market okay at the moment?
It looks to be. He was there in 17-18. So he's 25 now. So 7 years ago, 18. Yeah, he probably will be.
There's a chance he's homegrown, and
yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why Liverpool were insisting in Frimpong, because of the homegrown void. So, he obviously says he was born in London as well, but he's Ghanaian, I think, national team wise. But yeah, it's just another little factor to consider that.
Yeah, I guess he probably would be. We were looking at the ages there, and he should well be. He played for Bristol under 18s, so he hasn't all of his time in England. At some point.
He hasn't played any of his football at any point outside of the UK. So
you'd imagine that he would be. Although, right now can't look. LFC Breakdown on Twitter said, and you've answered a lot of this actually, to be fair, if Semenyo joins in January, would he be the start left winger instead of Gakpo, or is he the Salah replacement? If you have Gakpo and Semenyo left wing, surely that takes away from Flo's merits. So if you were to sign him, and the rumoured release clause is £65 million as well, isn't it? So we know that there's an option that Liverpool could at least instigate. I'm sure Manchester United be interested. I'm sure there are other top teams that would be interested. I heard yesterday City might be interested as well. Does he start ahead of Cody Gakpo for you?
I would prefer him to Gakpo, but I do think he comes in. I think that if we do the classic thing, which I do for every single signing, why are Liverpool signing this player? Because you don't just buy. I mean, Liverpool might have to be fair in the summer just gone, but you shouldn't just buy players who you like. You should have a plan for where you're going to use them. And I think, looking at Semenyo, I think he is a target to replace Salah. I think if you're thinking of life after Salah, and if you think of 2026, I think he goes in the summer and he doesn't start the year on Merseyside either. He's in the African Cup of Nations as well. So I think he needs to start thinking about that replacement now. And because Semenyo's played a lot of minutes over there and he's got that two-footed element about him, and I think he's a decent option there. So I think that's why Liverpool are buying him. But if you remember, when Liverpool first bought Mane, he was used over there.
Yeah, and then he had a full season over there before Salah came in.
Yeah, but I think the long-term plan, what was going to be beneficial for everyone, is if Mane could end up here and you could get someone else for over there. And that's ultimately what happened at the end of the day when you signed Salah and you ultimately sell Coutinho. But again, he is very Mane-like. I mean, in many ways, he really is. So that's almost the beauty of signing them. Some players you sign and you need a fixed plan of exactly how you're going to use them. With Semenyo, not necessarily.
You've got those options, haven't you? Obviously, I think it was 50% of the time last year he played over on the right-hand side, 43% on the left. He had a little bit at right mid over there, and he had a little bit of forward as well. So, obviously, you're looking at Semeno, you're looking at bringing him into this side, you're potentially putting him in on the right-hand side.
Can I just ask just quickly what you think of him? I don't know what your opinion is.
Brilliant. I think I would absolutely do it. It feels like he's making that step up as well.
Yeah.
Not
making
from last year, the leap as well, but also he's kind of had to. You know, a lot of the star players went, so he's got to fill that void, and that's brilliant to be able to see that. He's done it in the Premier League. We think that's important as well. Again, same as what you've said, both sides. I'm not as averse to a right footer being over here anyway, and as you say, he is both footed. But I think the centre forward makes a big difference. And I think, look, if you're running everything to try and get this guy over here, Mo Salah, on the end of things, maybe he's not the perfect replacement. But if you're running everything to get this guy, Alexander Isak, on the end of things, then a both-footed player over on this side is absolutely fine. Because he's your finisher, and if he's not your finisher, he's probably your finisher, and the team's running through there. So the option of having a right footer who can go to the byline and pull it back, or cut inside and try and finish the opportunity, is a good thing for your centre-forward, and it puts the defenders on their toes, not knowing which side they're going to go. And also, having a right footer over here, when there's four, and somebody else, what does Mo always end up doing? Turning back into the traffic. Having someone who can...
Same with Cody on the other side,
Having someone who can go round the outside, away from traffic, just seems like a smarter thing for me. And again, you know, everything has its day in football. Everything becomes cyclical. At some point, we might start seeing more right footers on the right-hand side again, because teams know how to defend left footers on the right-hand side after 15 years.
No, you make some good points regarding the striker in particular. I think life after Mo Salah will consist of our number 9 being the main goals guy. And if that's the case, you look at City, for example, a lot of it is to do with just feeding that fella then. And Semenyo is far more capable of getting to the byline on that side of the pitch than Salah is, just because of the nature of his, was a bit more explosive, prefers his right foot, things like that. So, yeah, some good points.
Mr. Electric Dan said, with all the Semeno release clause talk, who are some other winger options for LFC? This is one we would have used FB ref for, I think it's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's out.
It also depends when you say winger options, which wing. I think that's the difficulty. You've
got to address the right. You said it before, Liverpool have to plan for life after Mo Salah at some point. It can't just be after Mo Salah. It's got to be before the after.
Yeah,
surely.
Well, that's the difficulty with signing Semenyo, though. Like, you left. If Liverpool were getting linked with Elise, for example, you would know for certain, concrete, right, Liverpool wants a right-sided forward. But with Semenyo, it could be either side. So you left it in a little bit of a uncertain place there. Some people think Gakpo, for example, is just a squad player and should be taken out the team, and that they think that's what Semenyo is going to do. And I'm not so sure on that one, to be honest. Some people think Semenyo's a Diaz replacement. Absolutely could be. I think if it happened 6 months ago, that's probably what we'd be thinking. But because of the way Salah's looked this season, the age of him and that, you could still get a fee for him, a healthy fee. I think he might play on the right, but in terms of just, other wingers, Elise would be my dream for the right side. And he would still have that nature where he's like feeding the striker predominantly, while also chipping in with the odd goal. For the other side, it is difficult without me trusty little FBMF. There's a player for Juventus. Let's get him up. I think it's Yildiz. I think that's how you say it.
For Juve?
Yeah, Kenan Yildiz. Still only a kid, but he's your typical busy forward. I really like busy forwards, me. I like players who are just constantly on the move, running all the time, big dribblers, big shooters. create plenty of chances, just a bit of a nightmare to defend against if you imagine that you're a fullback. And this kid is, I think he was 19 when the last check, so he's probably about 20 now. Does it say the age on the stat?
I'm not sure. I'll just spell his surname and I'll get
it. Yildiz. I think he might be 20 now.
He's 20, yeah.
Yeah. But he's, last season in Serie A, as a 19-year-old, he makes 35 appearances for Juventus, scores 7 times and 4 assists. This season he's already on 10 appearances, 2 goals and 3 assists. But a bit like Chiesa, he's a bit like Chiesa thinking about it, and Chiesa I don't think was suited to playing for Fiorentina and Juventus at the time. I've lost track a little bit of Juve nowadays. Who's managing Juve now? It's not Motta, is it? Motta got sacked, so I don't know who's replaced him. But offhand, I doubt it suits what Yildiz is doing.
It's Spalletti.
Spalletti. Well, that might be a bit better suited then. Yeah.
Because he likes a press, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he sees a bit more of the ball and stuff. But he's a player that I've liked since I first seen him, first watched him. So I'd be keeping track of him as well.
Plays both sides, both footed as well.
Yeah, another one who's
right winger.
Another one who's 2 footed. Yeah, that's a important one to throw in there. But he predominantly plays over here, I think.
According to transfer market, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the big question, as I said, going back to before, is pick a side that you want me to pick a target for, and Semenyo doesn't narrow that down really.
Okay. Well, at Natish, why are Liverpool looking at Semeno ahead of centre backs?
I think a lot of people are thinking this. A lot of people have. I saw someone today on my Twitter saying this is like having a leaky roof and buying a hat. As opposed to just fixing the roof. Well, yeah, whatever. Pick whatever you want me. It's a Liverpool cap or something. I think that the crucial line with this, and this applies to all transfers, is you can't always just go and buy exactly what you need, because a lot of transfer market stuff comes down to timing. And I think with Semeno, for example, and this was the case with Luis Diaz when we signed him, if the market is just there and then for that player, like it was for Kvaratskhelia as well, another one who moved in January, you have to just do it. Even if you have a bigger priority for a centre half, maybe. If Semeno has a release clause that becomes active in a certain window for a number of days, apparently, according to the report, you have to just do it. And you can do the centre half in 6 months when Mark A's contract runs out or whatever.
I very much doubt they'll be able to do that personally, but
yeah, but
only because teams from abroad can speak to him in January, and Liverpool need to convince him to wait.
Yeah, it's.
I think Liverpool have to pay a fee for Mark A to bring him in. Yeah, because January 1st, Bayern Munich will talk to him. Real Madrid could talk to him. All these teams could talk to him. Liverpool can't. So you have to wait until the end of the season, July 1st. Essentially,
knowing what Liverpool are like, I would seriously doubt that we would pay a fee for a player who's going to become available for nothing.
Especially when Liverpool set the market at 10 million for 30 days.
Yeah.
With Trent.
Yeah. And even from Gay's perspective, if you know you're getting a sign on fee in 6 months, you've got to hang on.
Big old sign.
And Liverpool aren't going to win the league this season. So, I can't see that one happening. Personally, the Gay move in January, but we'll see.
That's what I mean. For Liverpool to do it, I think they have to send the fee, which means I don't think Liverpool get him.
Yeah, but the whole centre halves thing, prioritising and that, I'd see your points a bit more if this was a summer window, but because it's January, you kind of have to. Sometimes you just have to move.
Where the market is.
Yeah, depending on where the market is, depending on how long a player's got left on his contract, whether he's got a release clause, whether he's unsettled or whatever. There's a lot of things that come into it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing with the centre backs, really, isn't it? Because obviously we're a centre back down. Leone injury puts us one down, and we'll be one down all season long. Obviously, there's talk at the moment about Konate and his contract and everything else. I'm not 100% sure that a centre-back fixes Liverpool's problems.
I also, he fell over my own mouth there. I think if people plan to take out Kanate and put Mark Gay in, by the way, as aerial as this league is at the moment, good luck with that. I think
our defensive problems are more than just the centre-back.
Yeah. Although, what I would say is, I think if we're using this as Mark Gay...
I've actually, believe it or not, got a Mark Gay one from the summer.
Have you?
Yeah, let me just see if I can grab it.
Go on.
The truth is out. There you go. That's how close he was. Redmen TV had a Mark Gay made.
I am into that, That's great, that. Right, so I can do a proper example now then.
Bad that, innit?
So,
I never thought it'd get aired. I never thought it'd see the light of day.
No, I'm glad it has. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that Chris has made one of these.
That's how close
this is like the...
You can't see him. You can't see him. You need to put him in. There you go.
This is like the Nabil Fakir video that never saw the light of day.
Yeah, we've got a few of them, lads. We've got a few deep dives of them,
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Sofra Amrabat.
Amrabat, yeah, Christ.
Springs to mind.
Yeah.
There was another one as well that we did.
I've lost count, honestly, I have.
Yeah, it was a while ago, that Amrabat one.
I think, to be fair, one area in which you would help tactically is, let's say you're coming up against a team and their left back's crap and you want to really target their left back.
Mm-hmm.
So you use that with Salah. Maybe you play Frimpong as well. And you absolutely go with the pair of them and you double up on their terrible left back sound. So in that situation, I wouldn't mind Mark Gay technically on paper playing as a left back, and then they just shuffle over and Liverpool go really heavy on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Gay's right-footed, but he's used to playing that exact role for Palace, the left-sided centre-back. Alternatively, if the opposition right back is crap, you don't play with Frimpong. You play with Gay as your right back because he's right-footed, and you go with Kirkers. You go with Kirkers. Kirkers actually is allowed to attack for once. Doubles up with Gakpo, and you go a bit mad. And again, we shuffle over. So you could argue that Gay does unlock two tactical ways for Liverpool to explore, because of that ability to play on the left despite being right-footed, and then if he's right-footed he can obviously also play on the right. So that's quite interesting, don't you think?
Yeah,
I thought about it during the week. One of my subscribers flagged it to me and I thought about it and I was like, you know what, it's a great point. It is a really good point. But Liverpool don't quite have that profile. Well, Joe Gomez is that profile.
Yeah.
But I think Slott's terrified to use Gomez as a starter in case he gets injured.
Schrodinger's centre-back.
Yeah. Leone's already gone. And Kanate, we know, is prone.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of almost, even if you want to use Gomez as a starter, you kind of can't because of the fear of if he gets injured, we're ruined.
Yeah, and we've got no backup.
So, yeah, something I think about, like...
Okay, Ben McAdoo, is Semenyo worth 65 million? There has to be someone at a similar level with a higher ceiling that costs less than 65 million. I'm quite shocked by this question, Ben, because I can't imagine there's many better players than Semenyo, if any, for less than 65 million. Because 65 million is cheap.
Well, I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, what are your thoughts on a £65 million transfer nowadays? Because obviously,
for a starting forward in the Premier League with experience, it's a pretty good price.
Yeah, I've just realised I still have access to Wisecout.
Nice.
So, what was the question again?
Is Semenyo worth 65 million?
Right. I think in the modern day, I do think it's generally a bit of a going rate, to be honest. Obviously, I prefer it to be Luis Diaz for like 35 million or whatever, and Mane was about that, Salah was about that.
Gakpo wasn't far off.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's dictated by the length of the contract. And Semenyo's contract, just signed a new one, by the way.
Just signed a new one, yeah.
Mind you, we just signed a new one with a release clause, so the contract length doesn't come into it, actually. But yeah, if it's the release clause thing, you've kind of got to pay. You've got no choice. But I wouldn't say it's cheap, and I wouldn't say it's expensive either. But for a 25-year-old proven Premier League wide player who can play both sides, can shoot with both feet, is homegrown, I think that probably justifies it, to be honest. I think he's probably worth that.
Okay, last one on Semenyo then. Lallyman7 says, if we sign Semenyo, what would your team be?
Immediately.
I've got 11 on the board now, so you can change. Right, Semenyo's it there. What do you do? Oh, I love that. What are you doing with him?
Is that Isak?
Yeah.
Nah.
So no Verts?
No.
Gakpo still playing left wing?
Yeah, but if Liverpool were playing... Where is Verts? Let's have a look. If Liverpool were playing at home and going to see most of the ball, low block stuff, then I have no issue with Verts playing. Mm-hmm. And Verts can be Verts by swimming all over the pitch and overloading your midfield and connecting the play and all that. Robbo can go a little bit higher. I wouldn't, in that situation, when Robbo was playing a little bit higher, I wouldn't have too much of a problem if that was Kerkez either, because Kerkez can do final third bits. Mm-hmm. But I think if it's a game that's contested, and if it's a game specifically away from home, I just think it's safer at the moment to use Gakpo. But I don't have that much of a preference either way between the pair of them, even though they're both very different stylistically. Where's Gakpo gone? I've lost him.
You've put him upside down there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Tell you what, you don't want to have a game of pairs with me, lad.
And yeah, I think Semenyo would start for me when he first joins the club as a right-sided forward. But the interesting thing would be, once Salah comes back, what then do you what do you do? Because Salah's going to expect to start.
Salah's normally dead for a few weeks after he's come back from AFCON anyway.
Yeah,
so he'll be knackered. So he'll have a little bit of time to get himself sorted. So no, it is really interesting. Got loads more questions. We're going to continue the fun over on redmenplus.com. So get over there and get involved in this one. We'll be talking loads of questions about Florian Wirtz and getting the best out of him for Josh. Loads of questions about Mo Salah, the defenders, the fullbacks. Just loads of good questions to come actually. So get over to redmenplus.com. Get yourself a subscription, or you can watch it on a YouTube membership. We'll be over there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time on the Redmen TV. That was a clip from the deep dive. To check out the whole show, head to redmenplus.com or click the link in the description.